10:01. We'll go ahead and get started. So come to a comfortable seated position on your mat. And go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to just take some deep breaths in and out. So go ahead and inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. If you want, you can bring your shoulders up and forward as you inhale, and then down and back as you exhale. Just a couple more rounds at your own pace. You can reverse the direction of your shoulders if you like. While you're doing that, maybe think about why you're here, what you're hoping to get out of the practice today. Try to push out all the intrusive thoughts, all the things that happened this week or didn't happen this week. Just try to let all of that go. On your next exhalation, go ahead and open your eyes. Raise your hands up. Staying in that seated position, just lift your arms up toward the ceiling. Go ahead and interlink your fingers. Turn your palms up to face the sky and look up, giving yourself a nice big stretch. And then gently lean toward one side, just a little bit. See if you can rotate your head up toward the ceiling, and then back up to the middle, and then gently stretch the other way. Again, turning your head up toward the ceiling, and back up to the middle. Go ahead and release your hands down to your sides. Take your right arm, put it down onto the earth next to you, maybe bend your elbow, and then lean toward that side, and your other arm up and over your ear. Maybe rotate your head up. If you want, you can kind of circle your arms here. We're just going to stay here for a couple breaths. And on your next exhale, come back to upright, and now go to the other side, placing your elbow and your forearm onto the ground, then bringing your other arm up over by your ear, looking up if you like. Again, you can swing your arms around gently, waking up your shoulders and your arms, or you can just keep your arm up by your ear. And on your next exhale, come back up to neutral. We're going to go ahead and come up to standing, and we'll start with our sun salutations. So we'll do a couple of rounds of sun salutations series A, and then we'll do series B. So inhaling, bring your arms up to the sky and look up. Exhaling, fold at the waist. Bring your hands to your shins or your ankles or your feet or the ground, whatever you'd like. Inhaling, look up and flatten your back so it's parallel to the earth. And exhaling, take your right foot to the back of the mat. Take your left foot to the back of the mat. Now you're in plank. Go ahead and exhale down into a push-up position, keeping your elbows in. Or if you prefer, you can come all the way to the ground. Either way is fine. And exhaling, come to upward dog. So you can start with a gentle version that's more not really technically upward dog. You can have your thighs on the ground. But the key is to bring your shoulders down away from your ears and try to get a gentle stretch in your back. And you can look up if that's comfortable. Tuck your toes under, come back up into plank, and then push your hips up and back, keeping your legs straight. And now you're in downward dog. So you're trying to bring your heels toward the mat. You're trying to push your hips up to the sky, trying to bring your chest towards your thighs. Your hands are flat on the earth in front of you, and your arms are straight. If you like, you can bend your knees one at a time. This is our first downward dog. Sometimes it feels good to just go a little bit side to side. Or if there's another movement that feels good to you, you can go ahead and do that. Just try to keep your arms straight and your chest pushing gently towards your thighs. We'll do a couple more breaths here. When you're ready, your right arm is going to go up toward the sky and then bring it through to place your foot in between your hands. Bring your left foot to meet your right and fold forward. Inhaling, come back up to standing. Exhaling, bring your hands to prayer at your heart center. Inhaling, raise your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, left foot to the back of your mat, right foot to the back of your mat. Come down into a push-up or all the way to the floor and to upward dog. So if you're ready for a regular upward dog, your toes are flat, tops of your feet are on the mat, your hips are up off the mat, your hands are flat, your shoulders are away from your ears, and you can look up. Exhaling, you come to plank, you can come to another push-up if you like, and then go to downward dog. So your hands should be facing forward. You don't want your fingers pointed out toward the corners of your mat. You want them just facing straight forward. And take a few deep breaths here. Your gaze can be just in between your calves toward the back of the room, if that's comfortable for you. When you're ready, your left leg is going to go up to the sky, and then bring that leg through. Place your foot in between your hands. Bring your right foot forward and fold. Inhaling, come up to standing. And bring your hands to prayer. Inhaling, raise your hands up to the sky, and then fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, right leg to the back of the mat, left leg to the back of the mat, and come into push-up. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, you can do another push-up if you like, or go straight back into downward dog. Right leg to the sky, bring the right leg forward, and place it gently between your hands. Bring your left foot forward to meet the right, fold over. Inhaling, come up to standing, and bring your hands to prayer at your heart. One more round just like this. Inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale and look up. Exhale, left foot goes to the back of the mat, right foot goes to the back of the mat. Come down to a push-up position. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling to either another push-up or straight back to downward dog. Your feet are about hip distance apart, so they're not too far apart from each other. They should be away from the edges of your mat. And again, try to bring your heels down toward the ground and push your hips up toward the sky. Left leg up to the sky, bring your left foot forward, bring your right foot forward, and fold over. Inhaling, come all the way up to standing, and then bring your hands to prayer at your heart center. So we'll go on to series B. Inhaling, I guess the best thing is inhaling, come down to Utkatasana. So you can drop your hips down. I'm laughing at myself. You can use your fingers to brush on the earth to get a sense of how low you ought to be. You're trying to sit back, almost like you're sitting in a chair. Your knees should not be further forward than your toes, so you should be able to see your toes if you look down. And you try to bring your chest a little bit back. Your arms can be up alongside your shoulders. Your ears. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Send your right leg to the back of the mat, left leg to the back of the mat. Come into a push-up position. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Now take your right leg up to the sky. Bring your right foot forward. Turn the heel of your back foot down so it's flat on the mat with your toes facing at an angle toward the front, maybe like a 45 or 60 degree angle. Your front knee is bent. Your hips are forward. Bring your hands up to the sky. You can clasp your hands together or keep them separate. Your hips are pointing forward, so make sure you're bringing that left hip forward and pulling the right hip back. Your knee should not be more forward than your ankle and your thigh. You're aiming to get parallel to the earth. You're pushing through that back leg, which you're keeping straight, and you're pushing through the outside of that foot. And exhaling, bring your hands to the mat. Right foot goes back. Push-up position. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to downward dog. Take your left leg to the sky. Bring your left foot forward and turn your back heel down. Warrior one on this side. So again, the back leg is straight. You're putting weight on the outside of that back heel. Front leg, the thigh is parallel to the earth. Your knee is over the top of your shoulder. And bring your hands up. Exhaling, put your hands on either side of that foot. Left foot goes back. Push up. Inhaling to upward dog. And exhaling to downward dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Bring the right foot forward. Bring the left foot forward and sit in Utkatasana. Exhaling, fold forward and come all the way up to standing. Hands in prayer at the heart. Inhaling, sit down to Utkatasana again. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Your left leg goes to the back of the mat, right leg to the back of the mat, and come into push-up position and then upward dog. Exhaling, go into downward dog. Left leg up to the sky. Bring your left leg forward and come forward so your shoulders are over your wrists and hold there for a second. And then extend that leg back up to the sky. Come forward, bring your knee with you and bring that left knee to your left arm. Hold there for a second. And then push back, left knee up to the sky. Come forward, bring that left knee with you. Now take it to the opposite elbow and hold for a second. And then back up to the sky. And now bring your left foot forward and place it in between your hands. Rotate that back heel down. Here we are again in Warrior One. Exhaling, hands on either side of that foot. Left foot goes back. Come down to Chaturanga, a push-up. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Right leg up to the sky. Come forward, placing your shoulders over your elbows. Sorry, your shoulders over your wrists. Bring your knee forward and just hover there for a second. And right leg back up to the sky. Come forward again. Bring your right knee with you. Bring it to your right elbow and hold there for a second. And exhaling, right leg back to the sky. And come forward. Bring your right knee to the opposite elbow and hold for a second. And take that leg back up to the sky and bring that knee forward. Place your foot in between your hands. Rotate the back heel down and come up into Warrior One. Exhaling, both hands on the ground, right leg goes back, push up, inhaling to upward dog and exhaling to downward dog. Right leg up to the sky, bring that right foot forward, bring the left foot forward, and sit in Utkatasana. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, come all the way up to standing and bring your hands to prayer. One more round, inhaling, hands up to the sky and sit your bottom down to Utkatasana. If you need to use your hands to measure the height, that's fine. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Right leg goes to the back of the mat, left leg to the back of the mat. Push up. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling to downward dog. Take your right leg to the sky. Come forward, bring your right knee with you. So again, your shoulders are above your wrists. You're just gonna windshield wiper that right knee. So it's gonna go from your right elbow to your left elbow. Right elbow, left elbow. Couple more times. Keep your core engaged. Keep your belly button up, pushing your back toward the ceiling. One more time. And right leg up to the sky. And come forward, bring your right foot in between your hands. Rotate your back heel down. Come up to warrior one. Exhaling, hands to the ground, right leg goes back. Push up. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Now your left leg is going to go up to the sky. You're going to come forward, bring that leg with you, keeping it up off the mat. Your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Now we're going to windshield wiper from left to right, left to right. Keep your belly button in. Push your shoulder blades up to the ceiling. Couple more. And left leg up to the sky. Come forward, bring that foot in between your hands. Rotate your back heel down, warrior one. And exhale, hands on either side of that foot. Left foot goes back, push up. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling to downward dog. Left leg up to the sky, bring the left foot in between your hands, bring the right foot in between your hands, and sit in Utkatasana. Your feet are close together. Your knees are over the tops of your ankles. And exhale and fold forward. Inhaling, come all the way up to standing. Hands to prayer at your heart. Now we're going to move into some more standing postures, but we're using this as a vinyasa type class, so we'll do these sun salutations in between every set of poses. So inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Right leg to the back of the mat, left leg to the back of the mat. Come into push-up position. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, you can do another push-up or go straight into downward dog. Stay here for just a couple of breaths. On your next exhale, you're going to take your right leg up to the sky. Bring your right foot forward in between your hands. Keep your back heel up. Take your hands off the ground and stand up, come upright, keeping your front knee bent. Back heel is pointed up toward the sky. This is crescent, so our hips are facing forward. Our front knee is over the top of our front ankle. You may want to push your back foot back a little bit. You want to be able to have the back leg straight. And this is crescent. So we'll stay here for just a couple breaths. You can bring your hands up and clasp your hands. You can keep your gaze forward or look up, whatever you like. We'll be here for a few breaths. you prefer, you can keep your hands at your heart, either way. All right, now what we're gonna do, be cool. You may want to inch your back foot in just a little bit. We're gonna bend that back knee and bring it to hover just above the mat, but we're not setting it down, and then we're gonna come back up. You're gonna slowly bring that back knee down toward the ground and then straighten that back leg. The front knee remains bent the whole time. You're just gently going down and up. You should feel a stretch here in your left psoas. You can keep your hands up to the sky. You can bring them to your heart. You can put them on your hips. Just a couple more like that. One more. Now on your next time down, bring your knee to hover and just stay here. Go ahead and straighten that back knee, straighten that back leg. Now we're gonna go into a gentle twist. So bring your hands to prayer at your heart. You may want to inch that back foot forward a little bit. You're gonna bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. And you can stay here just like this. Try to keep that front knee bent. If you want, you can put your back heel down, it doesn't matter. Now, if you're here and you're comfortable, you can put your left hand on the ground, bring your other hand up to the sky. That's fine. If you want to bind, you can. Take that left arm underneath, bring the right arm around. Doesn't matter. Any of these are fine. Just a couple more breaths like this. Keep that front knee bent. When you're ready, untwist. Whew. Come back up into crescent. Rotate that back heel down if it wasn't down already. And now you're in warrior one. So again, same warrior one we did before. Your hips are facing forward. The front knee is bent. Your back leg is straight. And we're staying here just for a couple breaths. When you're ready, you're going to gently come forward. You can bring your hands to prayer. We're going to come over that front leg, which in this case is your right leg. So you can use however many steps it takes to kind of come forward and stand on that right leg. You're bringing the other leg up, straight behind you. This is warrior three. Your hands can stay at your heart. They can extend back alongside your body. They can go straight in front of you alongside your ears. That's the hardest version. And just stay here for a few breaths. On your next exhalation, gently bring your back leg down to the earth. Keep your heel up in crescent. Then go ahead and bring your hands down to the ground and bring your left knee down to the earth so you're in this lunge position. So, you know, how wide the distance is between your front foot and your back knee is totally up to you. But what we're going to try to go for here is a bit more of a stretch in that left psoas. So first thing we're going to do is gently lean forward. So your knee can come just a little bit forward, but not too far forward. Your hips are coming forward and then down toward the earth. Your hands can stay on your back. They can stay on your thigh, your front thigh. They can come down on either side of the foot if you want, but you're going to get less of a stretch in that psoas if you do that. So I would try to stay upright. And we're just going to be here for a few breaths. And try to keep your hips facing forward. Go ahead and place your left hand on the ground inside your right foot. You're going to take the other arm and try to see if you can reach back and grab that foot. I'm going to turn to the side just in case people can't see. So you're here in your lunge. Bring that left foot up and try to grab it with your right hand. If you see my left hip is coming toward the ground. I'm trying to get that flat line. Now, if you're here, that's totally fine. If that's enough stretch for you, that's a good stretch. But if you have a little bit more room, you want to try to bring that hip toward the ground. And then you can use this arm to bring the foot in a little bit closer to your heel, to your hip. If you do that, you're getting more of a quadricep stretch there. Okay, when you're ready, release that back foot, but don't change where your front foot is. So now try to just put both hands on the inside of that right foot. You can stay here, or if you can, come down to your elbows and forearms on the inside of that foot. If you can get your elbows down, try to tuck the back toes under and lift your back knee up off the ground. This is lizard. You can take that front foot and move it just a little bit out to the side, to the edge of your mat. That sometimes gives a little bit more room for this. And if that back knee needs to stay on the mat, that's totally fine too. You should feel a stretch in the outer hip of that right leg and in the psoas of the right. Now you can stay there, or if you want, you can try to scooch that shoulder, so in this case your right shoulder, underneath that leg. And then you can stay there or come back up on those toes. You can spread your arms out like an airplane. If you're feeling warm, you can extend that front leg and come into Ekapada Kunayasana, or not, doesn't matter. They're just options. And we can't all do all the options every day. Our bodies are different every time we come to the mat. All right, wherever you are, send that right foot back. Goodness gracious. And stay there for a second in your downward dog. I don't know if you're feeling that, but my hip is dying. All right. Whew. When you're ready, right leg up to the sky. Oh my God, shake it out. That is tight. Okay, bring your right foot forward. Bring your left foot forward and fold over. And inhaling, come all the way up to standing. Hands to prayer at your heart. Whew, believe it or not, we gotta do all that on the other side. Inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold over. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, your left leg goes to the back of the mat. Right leg to the back of the mat. Push up. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Take your left leg to the sky, bring your left foot forward, and now we're in crescent on this side. So the right heel is facing up to the sky. The right leg is extended straight behind you. The left leg, you have the knee right above the ankle. Your thigh is parallel to the earth. Your hips are facing forward. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can bring into prayer. You can raise your arms up to the sky. Whatever you feel like. We're going to be here for a few breaths. All right, so if you remember, next thing we did was to bring that back knee toward the mat and hover. So again, you can keep your hands on your hips or you can keep them up to the sky, however you feel, but we're gonna slowly lower that back knee down to hover and then straighten the back leg. Your front knee remains bent. Down and up. You can bring your back foot in just a couple inches if that helps. Down and up. Down and up. Couple more. And on your next one, you're going to come down and you're going to stay down. Whew. Go ahead and straighten both legs for a second. Whew. That's hard. Okay, now we're going to come into that twist. So you're going to bend forward, bring your right arm to the outside of that left knee. You can keep your hands in prayer like this. If you want, you can extend your hands so that your right hand comes to the earth, left hand goes up to the sky. Just like we did on the other side, if you want to bind, take that right arm under, bring the left hand around. That's fine too, whatever you like. Couple of breaths there. And gently untwist. Come into your warrior one. So that back heel is down, hips are facing forward. I'm going to stay here just for a few breaths. Bend that front knee more if you can. And when you're ready, we're going to come over this front leg, the left leg. So remember, we did warrior three. So you can take however many steps it takes to bring that back leg forward. Try to bring your chest parallel to the ground. Warrior three, your hands can remain at the chest. They can go alongside your body. They can go alongside your ears, wherever you feel comfortable. Try not to open that back hip. Your hips are parallel to the earth. When you're ready, you're going to bring that back foot to the earth, bring that back knee down. Now we're back in our lunge position on this side. So first thing we're going to do, just like the other side, keep that front knee bent, hips facing forward. See if you can push your hips forward and down. Your hands can stay on your hips. They can come up to the sky. They can be on that front thigh, whatever you like. I'm trying to get a nice stretch in the psoas of your right leg or your right hip. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Whatever you're doing, try to push those hips forward. When you're ready, you're going to place your right hand on the earth, bend that back knee, reach your left arm, and see if you can grab that foot. So I'm going to show you again from the side. Right hand on the ground, left hand reaches for that right foot. And again, you're going to try to bring your hip, your right hip down toward the earth. Try to bring that heel in towards your buttocks, using your left hand as leverage. And you should feel this in your left hip and your right psoas. When you're ready, you're going to release that foot back Bring both hands to the inside of that left foot. You can stay here, or you can wiggle that left foot out toward the edge of your mat a little bit and come onto your elbows and forearms. If you're on your elbows and forearms, you can tuck your back toes and bring that back knee up off the mat. And this is lizard. And just like we did on the other side, you can stay here, or you can bring your shoulder underneath that knee and bring the arms out to the side like an airplane. And turn this way so you can see, like this. Or again, you can come into Ekapada Kundanyasana, straightening that front leg, lifting the back leg up off the mat. Or not. As long as you're feeling a stretch in this hip, you're doing it right. All right, when you're ready, somehow, magically, bring that leg to the back of your mat and come into downward dog. Take a couple deep breaths here. Take that left leg up to the sky and shake it out. And bring that left foot forward. Bring your right foot forward and fold over. Stay there for just a second. Should feel nice in both hips. And when you're ready, inhaling, come up to standing and bring your hands to prayer. I forgot to say one of my usual things at the beginning, which is child's pose is always an option. So if you're ever feeling like there's something you don't want to do, or you just need a break, come into child's pose anytime. No one's judging. Okay, inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale, look up. Right leg to the back of the mat. Left leg to the back of the mat. Come down to push up. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Bring your feet together so the big toes are touching. Bring your weight forward so you're in a plank position with your big toes together. Either stay here or nudge let's do your right arm. Your right arm a little bit toward the center. So if your right arm is in the center of your mat, you're going to rotate your heels so that your heels are facing toward the pinky side of your right hand. Your hips are going up to the sky, and your left arm is up to the sky or up by your ear, either way. This is side plank. So what you're trying to do is push your hips toward the sky. You don't want them sagging down toward the mat. The outer edge of your right leg, or your right foot, sorry, is on the mat. The other foot is not on the mat, theoretically. But it can be. If you need to put it to the side, you're totally welcome to do that. And slowly and gently, bring that left hand down. Again, keeping your toes together. Place the left hand in the middle of your mat. Rotate your heels toward the pinky edge of your hand that direction. So your feet, your left heel and left outer edge of the foot is on the mat. Your hips are up to the sky. Your right arm is up to the sky. Your shoulder is right over the top of your wrist. Maybe push your hips up just a little bit more. And gently and slowly bring your right hand back to the mat and push back into downward dog. Just a couple breaths here. All right, when you're ready, bring your left leg to the sky, bring the left foot forward, bring the right foot forward and fold. And inhaling, come up to standing. Okay, this is where we're gonna need a little bit of wall. We're gonna take a minute away from the mat. I'm gonna rotate you to this wall. There, okay. So this is easy. So what you're gonna do is put your arms on the wall somewhere above your head. The higher up they are, the easier it is. We're going for a shoulder stretch. Your feet are about a couple feet from the wall, and you're gonna try to bring your chest to the wall and bring your chin off of the wall. You don't want to be like pushing everything into the wall. So again, the higher up, the easier it is. If you put your hands way up high, it's more gentle. If you bring your hands lower, it's more intense. Okay, so do that on your own. Try to do it 3 times. Whatever you're doing, try to keep your bottom back. You want your butt to be over the top of your ankles. You don't want to be at a diagonal. You don't want your body to be at a diagonal. And when you go, just stay for a few seconds and then come out of it. Okay, one more time. All right, go ahead and shake your arms out a little bit, and then we're gonna do one more up against the wall. So this one, you're gonna bring your hands a little bit lower. They're about shoulder width apart, and your hips are pushing back. You try to keep your back flat and try to bring your head through your arms like you're trying to bring your head down, your forehead down toward the earth. So your hips are back, so the hips are right over the top of the ankles. Your back is mostly flat, and you're just trying to push your head down. So you should feel it again up in the shoulders. And push your, try to keep your hands in one spot and then push your head down through. Yeah, like that. That's good. And do that a few times. Each time stay in it for, 5-10 seconds and then take a break. And then do it again. We'll do it 3 times at your own pace. And just one more time. All right, and when you're ready, when you've finished that, come back to your mat. And go ahead and, standing at the top of your mat, bring your hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold over. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, your right leg goes to the back of the mat, left leg to the back of the mat. Push up. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg up to the sky, bring your right leg forward. We're gonna stay in warrior one for just a couple breaths. Now bring your hands, oh, I'm sorry, let me orient my camera. Bring your hands back to your hips. So you're in the warrior one with your hips facing forward, and just straighten that front leg. So this is kind of like a pyramid, but it's a wider pyramid than you might be used to. If you want to bring the back leg in a little bit, you're welcome to, but otherwise, if you're okay, stay in this wider stance. Now, you're going to hinge forward at the hips. Try to keep your back relatively flat, maybe even a little bit arched. You can bring your hands to your knee, your shin, blocks if you have them, all the way to the earth, whatever is available to you. The toes on that right foot are facing forward. So try first to just extend your head forward, like you're trying to reach it beyond the toes of that front foot. And now go ahead and fold over, trying to bring your forehead to your ankle as best you can. And stay here for a few breaths. Both legs are straight, your hips are facing forward. All right, when you're ready, we're gonna just turn that into a triangle. So if you want, you can come back up to standing with your hands on your hips again. Now, you're gonna rotate your hips to the side, keeping your feet largely where they are. You may want to scooch that back leg back just a little bit. And now you're gonna take your right arm at shoulder level in front of you, push your right arm forward while you push your hips back. Bring that right arm to your shin, your ankle, a block, or the ground, whatever is available to you. And then extend your left arm up to the sky. So your hips are open, your left hip is kind of stacking over the top of your right. Your shoulders are also trying to stack your left shoulder over your right. And actually you can try to open your chest up to the sky, almost like you're gonna rotate. So not just going up and down, but rotating back towards your left side. Now bring your left hand to your left hip. Wherever your right arm is, go ahead and bring it to the inside of that right leg and bend your right knee. This is a side angle. So your shoulder, your right shoulder is trying to get inside your right knee. But if you need to be up here, so your elbow is on your knee, that's totally fine. You're just trying to have this kind of twist where your right side is towards your right thigh. If you can do that and that feels fine, then you can bring your right shoulder down and place your right hand onto the ground. Your left hand can go up to the sky or can come at an angle by your ear. You're trying to keep that right knee bent. So your right knee is over the top of your ankle. Okay, when you're ready, windmill your arms up. So you're very briefly in a warrior two position. Your hips are open out to the side. Your arms are at shoulder level. Now bring your left hand to your back leg and then go ahead and reverse your warrior. And then come up to standing straight in both legs. Turn that right foot in. So now you're facing the side of your mat. Both feet are facing forward. You can rotate your toes in a little bit and your heels out a little bit. And when you're ready, you're going to fold over, bending at the waist. You can bring your hands to a block or to the ground in front of you. And if that feels okay, you can start to fold even more, bringing the top of your head down toward the mat, or wherever it can get to. What you're trying to feel is a stretch way up in the hamstrings, almost by the cleft of your buttocks. So whatever it is that gets you to feel that is totally fine. If you want to put your head down, that's fine. If you want to grab your ankles, you can do that. You can grab your big toes, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Okay, slowly bring your head up, leave your feet where they are for a moment. What we're gonna do is we're gonna rotate both of the toes, both sets of toes out, and I'm gonna turn towards you so you can hopefully see. So now both feet are kind of pointed outward. From this position, you're gonna bend the left knee, come up onto the heel of the right foot, and it's almost like you're sitting your butt down. But for most people, it's not going to quite get there. And then we're just going to go side to side for a few rounds. So now you're going to go bend your right knee, come onto the heel of your left foot, and sit here for a second. And then back the other way. You can use your hands to help you come up and over. And just go at your own pace a few times, back and forth. And if you don't need your hands, that's fine. If you need your hands, that's fine. Just going side to side for a few rounds. So the next time that you're on the right side, go ahead and just find your way to a seat kind of in that position. So your right leg is up with your knee bent, and your left leg is extending out to the side. What you're going to do is you're going to take your left hand and put it on your, I'm going to adjust myself there. Okay, left hand goes onto your right ankle, and you're going to try to rotate your chest up to the sky and see if you can get your right hand to your right foot. But if not, that is totally fine. You're just trying to get this stretch. Keep pushing your right knee out away from you and bring your right arm up by your ear. See if you can rotate your chest up toward the sky and use your left arm to bring your shoulder down toward the ground. And that may magically get your right hand to your right foot, or it may not. It's just this stretch. You want to resist the urge for your right knee to come in. And when you're ready, come out of that. We're just going to switch to the other side. So your left knee comes in, your right leg goes out, right arm to your left ankle. And again, you're going to rotate your upper body, bring your left arm up by your ear. Try to rotate your chest up to the sky and maybe grab that foot. You're really just trying to bring your right shoulder inside that leg if you can. And then once you get there, then you can rotate up. And again, pushing that left knee away from you, resisting the temptation for it to collapse inward. All right, whenever you're ready, sit up. And now we're going to do everyone's least favorite, which is the frog. So should be pretty well warmed up for it now, since we've done all those straddle things. The basic idea for frog is, I'm going to show it from both sides, but first I'm going to show it from the side. So your hips and your knees are in the same line. Your hips are not forward, your hips are not back. Your hips are at the same level as your knees. And you might need, if you're on a hardwood floor or something, get some padding for your knees because it's pretty uncomfortable. So wherever you are, you can bring your hands in front of you. If you want to bring your elbows down, you can. If you want to bring your chest to the earth, you can. Just depends on how you're comfortable. But what you're trying to do, I'm going to show it from this side. What you're trying to do is keep your knees and hips in line this way, and then have your ankles going straight back from your knees so that they're not, your feet aren't tilted in, your feet aren't all the way out, they're just straight back. And then in this plane, you've got a straight line as though, you know, if you had a window pane here and a window pane here, your hips and your knees are in that line in between those planes. Now, if you can come further down eventually, right? Eventually. But even if you're here or here, wherever you are, you should be feeling a nice stretch in the inner thighs. And like I said, you can come down to your forearms and elbows, or all the way down to your chest. And this one, sadly, you really only get a benefit if you stay for a while. So we're going to stay here for a minute. And you can be as high or low as you want, and you can have blocks in front of you that are what you're holding on to. Wherever you are, it should still feel like a good stretch. All right, wherever you are, you can start to come out of it. So there's two basic ways to come out of it. One is, you can push your knees up, but often people feel too sore to do that. So the other way is to just come forward. It's very elegant, and lay flat, and then come out of it. So from there, you should now be pretty warmed up in your inner thighs. So I say, let's try to do a quick straddle. We won't stay here for very long. Just so you see how that feels. You can use your hands to push your hips forward if you like. This is Upavisthamasana. So your knees are pointed up to the sky, and your legs are wherever you can get them, out to the sides in some kind of straddle. Wherever you are, see if you can come forward a little bit with your chest. And even if it's just here, that's good. You don't want to round your back like this. You want to try to keep your back straight. And if you can, You can walk your hands forward, keeping your back flat to whatever point feels like a good stretch for you. And we won't stay here for too long. Go ahead and walk your hands back up if you were down on the ground. Bring your feet forward. You can cross your legs and then come forward onto your hands and knees. And then step your feet back. And now you're in a downward dog. Right leg up to the sky. Bring your right foot forward. Bring your left foot forward and fold. And inhaling, come up to standing. Now we got to repeat on the other side. Inhaling, hands up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, look up. Left leg to the back of the mat, right leg to the back of the mat. Come down to push up. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Left leg up to the sky. Bring the left foot forward. Rotate that back heel down, and here we are in Warrior One, just for a few breaths. Again, remember to keep your hips facing forward. Your front knee is bent. Maybe you can come down just a smidge more. When you're ready, you're going to straighten that front leg. And now again, we're in that widened pyramid pose. If you want to bring that back foot forward, you can. If you're comfortable at this distance, stay right there. You're going to keep your hips facing forward, and you're going to hinge forward at the hips. So again, trying to keep your back mostly flat. You can bring your hands to your knees, to your shin, to your ankle, to the ground, or to blocks right next to you, whatever works for you. And first, just try to keep your back flat. You're trying to extend your forehead forward as though it's going beyond your toes in the front of the mat. And then you can try to fold all the way down, bring your forehead towards your ankle. And when you're ready, bring your hands to your hips. Come up to standing. And now rotate your hips to the side. And we're going to do triangle. So extend your left arm at about shoulder height in front of you. Sending your left arm forward and your hips back. Place that left hand onto your shin or your ankle or the ground, whatever is available to you. Your right arm is going up to the sky. And again, you can try to rotate your chest up toward the sky and bring your right shoulder back a little bit if you can. When you're ready, bring your right hand to your right hip and come all the way up. Bend that front knee, your left knee, so that your knee is over the top of your ankle. And we're going to go into side angle. So your left arm is going to come either to that thigh or down to the ground on the inside of that foot. And then your right arm is going to come up by your ear or straight up to the sky, whatever you feel like. If you want to bind here, again, you can. We're just going to be here for a couple of breaths. When you're ready, come up to warrior two and reverse your warrior for a second. And then go ahead and bring your hands on either side of that left foot. Send the left foot back. Come into push-up position. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Okay, we are almost out of time. So one last thing before Shavasana. So we've kind of warmed up everything to try to get to King Pigeon, which is the picture that I had in the post for this class. So we'll see how we do. Okay, so bring your right leg up to the sky and bring your right leg forward to pigeon. Okay, so what this means is your right leg is in front of you. The right shin is either parallel to the front of your mat or a little bit tilted in so that your foot is moving toward the opposite hip. Either way is fine. Your right hip, outer hip, is on the mat, okay? It's not up in the air, it's on the mat. For pigeon, which is perfectly, as a great pose, your back leg, in this case your left leg, is straight behind you, and your knee is on the ground and the top of your foot is flat on the ground. This is a great place to be. So if you're happy with this, stay here. Anybody wants to try, the next thing to do is to bend that back knee. So bring your left foot towards your left arm. So same arm, same foot. And even just here is actually a really good stretch for the back quad, in this case your left quad. Now, if you're happy there, you can bring your left foot into your left elbow. I'm going to turn just so people can see. So left foot, left elbow. So that's already pretty intense. And you can grab your hands like this. Or to get into that pose, you're going to take the same hand and the same foot, but you have to wrap, so you have to flex the foot and wrap your hand around the big toe side. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. It's too hard on the shoulder. So if you can get to here, then you can bring the foot towards your head. You can reach back with the other hand and try to place that foot on your head. This is a really good intermediate step where you're just grabbing that foot and trying to bring it forward. Okay, wherever you are, release that back leg. Step your feet back into downward dog. And we're going to do the other side real quick. So your left leg up to the sky. Bring the left foot forward in pigeon. Again, you can stay just right here in pigeon. So your left hip is on the ground. Your left shin is parallel to your mat or maybe a little bit toward you. Your right leg is extended back behind you. If you want, you can go ahead and grab that right foot with your right hand. And that is fine, just like that. If you want, you can bring that right foot into your right elbow. And that is fine. If you want to try King Pigeon, again, you flex that back foot. Let me turn just a little bit. Flex the back foot. Reach around and grab the big toe with your right arm. Bring that foot up. Grab with both hands. And place your head on your foot. Again, this is a really good prep for that, or even here is also fine. Wherever you are, release that back foot and come into a downward dog. Just take a second here and walk out your legs. We've done a lot with our outer hips, so they probably feel tight. And whenever you're ready, you can step or jump through your hands to come into a reclined position. And we're going to go into Shavasana straight from there. If you're dying to do an inversion, go for it. I won't tell. But otherwise, Shavasana. And I'll keep track of time. So if you're in Shavasana, your feet are on the ground, your hands are on the ground with your palms up. You're closing your eyes. You're focusing on your breath. You're pushing aside all the intrusive thoughts. Taking deep breaths in and out. Slowly start coming back to reality. Wiggle your hands or your fingers and your toes. Rotate your ankles and your wrists. Take a deep breath. When you're ready, bend your knees. Come onto your side and cradle your head with your arms. And push yourself up into a seated position. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope this was good. I hope you got something out of it. I'm grateful for your company. I've missed you the last couple of weeks. I'm grateful to you for taking time to take care of yourself today. And I hope that you can carry some of this peace and calm with you the rest of the day. We ran out of time for core. I know you're so disappointed. We'll do more next time. That's it. So namaste. Thank you.